Since the iOS 10 launch, a lot of you have asked me, should I update my older device, as in the past, updating older devices sometimes meant you lost a bit of speed. So I just want to make this video to compare iOS 9.3.5 to iOS 10.0.1. In the first test here was a boot test, and we did 42 seconds on that boot. I've done this test a couple other times, and I got 43 to 45 seconds being the longest. So that's about an average for iOS 9.3.5. I also tried a power off test, which is when you hold your power button and you slide. Right when you let go of the slide to unlock, or slide to power down, I timed that at 10 seconds. So that's how long it took for that to power down. Now jumping into the device here, we can see this is one of the animations that we use a lot, is unlocking. So the device seems to unlock pretty quick. Also, you have the slide to unlock, where in iOS 10 you have the click to unlock. So there's a little difference there. The next thing I wanted to do was launch some applications and see how the animations are when the device first turns on here. So as you can see, they load up pretty quickly. And then our multitasker. The animations here have always been a little shuddery, especially on the older devices. I think the frame rate drops on the older devices. So hopping into some applications. Some applications that are not currently open, which actually loaded pretty quickly. Next thing is opening up applications download from the App Store, which can sometimes take a lot longer than the stock applications that we were testing here. So let's open up YouTube. And we'll open up speed test. See how Instagram opens. And Twitter. Twitter notably taking the longest there. Next thing I want to do was a speed test for web browsing. So we'll jump into fast.com. Pretty consistent speed. We'll try an HTML compatibility test, which notably a lot of Androids score very high, where the iPhone seems to lack in this. Now on that note, there are third-party browsers. And they do score a little higher in HTML compatibility, so using a Chrome browser on your device will give you better internet browsing results. Back into Safari. Try opening up a couple web pages. And then last, we'll just see how the speed test app runs, which should give us more accurate internet results. So pretty consistent speeds, along with some that I've already tested. And so the last thing I wanted to cover with iOS 9.3.5 was Geekbench, which I won't make you guys go all the way through. I did run these tests, so we can just take a look at my scores. I did 2 of them just as a comparison here. And as you can see, we did a single core score of 764. Multi-core score was 1219. And then the second run, which showed a 1 score less than the single score, but had a higher multi-core score. So that is iOS 9.3.5. So I am back here on iOS 10.0.1, and I just ran a boot test for the second time. My first time I got 48 seconds, and my second time I got 47 seconds, so it's pretty consistent between 47 and 48 seconds boot time on the iPhone 5. Previously in 9.3.5 we got 42 seconds on the first boot and 45 seconds on the second boot, so it was a little quicker in iOS 9.3.5. Now jumping in, we're going to open up a few stock applications and then just close some apps here. So most stock applications look like they're opening pretty quickly. Now let's try opening some third-party apps again. YouTube actually loading pretty quickly. Speed test again, opened up pretty quick. So most apps seem to be fairly quick, Twitter usually being a slow one. Definitely seems slower, but overall just a very, very slight degradation in performance, so it's really not noticeable, and most applications run the exact same. Some apps, and maybe it's just compatibility updates, but Twitter definitely seems like it's a little slow. Alright, next we're going to do a internet speed test. We'll see how the browsers have improved from iOS 9.3.5 to iOS 10.0.1. So it was a little laggy there at first. This could also be where it's downloading from, because it seems to be jumping up and down. And I actually did notice this on iOS 10. It seems like the Wi-Fi, at least on this device, has been kind of up and down. The signal strength does change there. But average, we got about the same speed. Let's see how it handles in HTML. So it does look like Apple has done some improvements. Most Androids are still well above these scores, but it is nice to see that mobile Safari is starting to improve. Now that being said, let's see how our third-party browser handles the same page. And surprisingly, we get the exact same scores. So it looks like Apple has finally caught up to at least the third-party browsers available in the App Store in terms of HTML5 compatibility. It's nice to see that Apple's finally done that. Let's open up some more pages here. Actually seeing a bit of an improvement in the web browsing. And again, with a speed test using speedtest.net, try to get some more accurate speed results. See, there you can see it seems like it's not as consistent as it was before, but still very adequate, very good speeds. In fact, overall is a lot faster than it was previously. I believe this model can only do up to 150 megabits, which I actually have a 150 megabit line, but I'm on the second level of my house, so that could be why I don't receive the full speed. And then the last thing we wanted to take a look at here was a Geekbench test, which I did again run 2 in comparison, and I do have a couple more saved for you guys to see what kind of results we got on here. So this is iOS 10.0.1, and you can see the scores have actually gone down since our iOS 9.3.5 upgrade here, and again we had a really low single core score from the previous results, which actually the previous results are right here, so this was on the 9.3.5. Now, even though these have gone down, overall I gotta say, for the last generation being available, the iPhone 5 is doing pretty good on iOS 10, and I would definitely upgrade for security and to get these new features. It's definitely worth the upgrade, although maybe in the future staying on one of the lower iOS 10 versions might be better than upgrading all the way through. iOS 10 is likely to be the last update for the iPhone 5, so we'll see what happens as the updates roll out from Apple. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more. We'll see you guys again next time. Cheers.